had a beginner session. Great, thank you. We had a beginner session last week, and I consider myself pretty proficient in ClubRunner, and I actually learned a couple things. So thank you, Vicky. So if any of you want to learn, like feel free to go and take a look at the the beginner one as well. There might be a couple of things on there that you'll learn from. I did send out a PDF. That's going to be kind of the outline that Mickey's going to follow, as well as there's some links in there that he will refer to that will give you additional information on some of those topics. How we did it the last time is if you have a burning question, like you don't want Mickey to go any further without answering it, put it into chat and we'll stop and we'll take your question. If not, if you can just hold off till the end, Mickey has made time for us to have a pretty long Q&A, and he'll answer any questions, even if it's topics that weren't covered today, which is what ended up happening in the beginner session. We had a couple of questions that were kind of off topic, but he handled it great. So I'm going to pass it on over to Mickey with ClubRunner, and thank you for taking the time, Mickey, to help us out here.
Right, thank you, everybody. And I do see someone else coming in. Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we're going to do, pardon me, the ClubRunner Advanced webinar. Last week, as Mary said, we did the beginner. I'm going to ask everyone to mute your microphones. This is going to be our format for tonight. It's the same as last week, the same format. For about the first about an hour, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over all these topics. Now, one thing that I hope everyone has, and I'm going to make, and of course I can give it to Mary again. This PDF, I hope I can put it in here, and I know if you're watching the recording, you can actually see the PDF. This is my guide tonight. And not only is it a guide, every topic has an associated help link. So maybe some of you have seen this PDF, maybe some of you haven't. But I know Mary has it. I'll be happy to give it to anybody who needs it. But I put it into the Zoom chat so that anybody can download it. We're going to be, I'm basically using that as my roadmap for tonight. So what I'll do is, and I can see more people coming in, which is fantastic. So we're going to get started. I'm going to share my screen, okay? And for any newcomers, please do mute your microphones. Thank you very much. Let's begin. And I will start with, oh my gosh, this screen. Let's make sure. Can everybody see Rotary Club of Kipling? Everybody can see that? Fantastic. Okay. What I'm going to be glossing over some things, or I'm sorry, I'm going to be not doing some things. We went over login, how to log in, we went over some of the basics. I'm not going to cover that tonight. We're going to jump right into some modules. The sections or modules we're going to talk about is in that PDF in the Zoom chat. If anybody needs it, we'll make sure you get it. And I'm using, like I said, kind of mentioned, I'm sorry to kind of repeat myself. It's for the newcomers. I'm going to be using that PDF step by step. So first thing we're going to discuss is the ClubRunner website designer. I just want to touch on one thing that we did cover in the beginner. If you're following along or you're watching this as a recording and you're following along, and there's any, we're going to cover a few topics tonight. If there's anything you can't access, it's very likely your access level. I'm going to just mention that very briefly. You need specific access levels to use the website designer. We're going to talk about volunteers or cloud events. So if you're trying to follow along with me and you click on a menu item and it's grayed out, you don't have the access level. Talk to your club, or if you're logged into the district, talk to your district people. You just need to have the correct access. I am logged in as what we call an administrator. When you're a club or a website administrator or admin, you have access to everything. So I don't have to worry about grayed out menus. I can do whatever I'd like on this club site. And a lot of, now I'm demoing today a club site. There's a huge amount of overlap, website designer and cloud events. And there's certain modules. It's just a one-to-one. If you use, for example, we're going to be seeing website designer on the club site. It's exactly the same on the district site. So speaking of which, let's go edit the homepage. Before we do, I want to show the homepage. So I'm going to use this link right here, the home link. I'm not going to click on it. I'm going to right click with my mouse and I'm going to open it in a new tab just so you can see this is our Rotary Club homepage. And you can see someone's been working on it. I forgot to take this out. So I'll remove this. But this is the home page. Let's actually edit the home page and kind of cover that ground. So I'm going to click here. Right? This is the member area. Now, I like having all of these tabs open. Everybody works a little differently. I prefer to have my public homepage open. This is anybody can see this. This is live. This is on the web, so anybody can see this. This is one of my browser tabs. The other browser tab I have is the member area. I'm already logged in here, and I really like working like this. That way I can just jump between the two tabs at any time. So this member area, let's go edit or design what's on the public page. So I'm going to use the top blue tabs. I'm going to click on website. And first, I'm actually going to start with designer home. And just to kind of briefly summarize what we did last week, if you click on any blue tab, it will not load the page. You have to click on the blue tab and then click on the gray bar below the subsection. So first, I'm going to click on website. That won't load any page. Then I'm going to click on designer home, which is the first gray button. And what the page designer home, it lets you kind of see a lot of your recent web pages. And, this is an active website. We have a lot of pages. What I want to edit is I want to edit my home page right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over home page and I'm going to click the blue open button. Now I can create new pages. I don't know if we'll have time to do that, but I definitely want to talk about editing the home page. So I'm going to hover over this. Now, I want to show you because there is another quicker way. I'm going to scroll up. Now, I can just, hover over this and click open, or I can click website. And if I click this second gray button, homepage designer, it's also going to allow me to edit my homepage. So either click this homepage designer, or if I go like this, hover over this and click open, both actions will take me to this page right here, design homepage. You'll know that you're editing the homepage because it will say homepage in orange right there. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. It'll say the homepage in orange right there. Let's just very quickly go over the different sections of the website designer. So this is the ClubRunner website designer. Some of you might be familiar. Some of you, maybe this is the first time you're seeing it. Along the top, there's a go back button. Obviously, you can go back. We get rid of the top blue menu bar for the website designer just because of space. We want to have maximum space that you see the home page and all the buttons. So the top menu bar is gone here, only on this designer page. But you can click go back and it'll actually just take you back to the designer, to the regular admin screen with the blue menu bars. Okay, so I'm going to click open again. And let's look at some of these sections. This tells you what page you're designing. I'm designing the home page right now. These are simulators. Okay. I want to simulate what this web page looks like on a desktop. This looks kind of like an iMac. On a tablet, this looks kind of like an iPad. And on a phone, this looks kind of like an iPhone. It's iPhone or Android. So let's first just simulate the website on a desktop. I click this button and it kind of clears up the interface. And now I can kind of just get a view of, okay, this is what it would look like if I were looking off a laptop or a desktop. What about a tablet? So I'll click this button. It gives me a tablet view. These buttons are actually really important, and I'll tell you why in a second. But this is my tablet view. So if I want, a lot of visitors are going to be on mobile. And then the final is a mobile phone. So it'll shrink down to my website even more. This is a very, how do I say this? This is a very underrated feature in the sense that a lot of people, what they'll do is, a lot of website admins, what they'll do is they'll click here, like, oh, my desktop version looks awesome. But remember, check on a mobile phone because, and it doesn't matter who I'm speaking to, even though this is being recorded, I can pretty much guarantee 50% of your website, at least 50% of your website visitors, they're going to be on a mobile phone. That's pretty much common. It's probably higher. It's probably closer to 75%, but most people these days, they navigate to your site on a phone. So if that's the case, make sure you check your homepage and it looks good on a mobile phone as well as on a laptop or a desktop. I'm going to click go back right here. Okay. And so those are the kind of preview buttons. You can kind of remove all the other interface elements and see what your website looks like or simulate. The View Live button, this blue button, is actually really useful. If I click this View Live page, it pops open my home page in another browser tab now. I already have it open here. I'm going to click on the other tab. They're the same tab, right? There. So I'm going to close one of these. But if you did not have your website open, you would click on View Live Page. I'm going to click here and go back. So this View Live Page, if you hadn't already done it, you can actually pop open the live site on a different tab. Like I said, that I really like working like that. The orange Publish button, you can make changes semi-invisibly, meaning you can work on your website. As long as you don't click publish, most of the time people can't see the changes you're doing. If you're working on things, but you might have to do it over 2 days or whatever, you can kind of do a little bit of work. As long as you don't click the orange publish button, the changes you make won't go live. The second you click publish, it takes like half a second to publish, by the way. It's pretty quick. Everything you've changed on your homepage will go live. So just remember that and keep that in mind. Now moving down, this is a preview, a live updating preview of your homepage. And it's all just top down. We wanted this to be as simple as we could make it. Where our analogy is kind of like PowerPoint. If you use something like PowerPoint, there's PowerPoint has what's called a WYSIWYG interface. What you see is what you get, so you can kind of just navigate around. For example, whatever you hover your mouse over, that is the element you can edit. The first thing I see is my logo. If I hover over it, I can edit my logo. Or the menu, if I hover over it, I can edit the navigation menu or this or that. So you just hover over the element you want to edit. I'm going to just show you very quickly. If I click on this, it actually just pops open a new screen, and now I can manage my homepage menu and take out top menu links. I can add in menu links. So that's how it works. I'm going to click the go back button right here. So this is the live preview of the site. It's constantly updating in the sense that whenever you make a change, right, I'm just going to say Mickey. There you go. And now, is this live? Is my name live on the site? Not yet. I haven't clicked publish, right? So, but if I do, then my name will be blurted out on this. So I'll actually just take this out. But that's kind of how you edit the elements on the homepage. So now you're going to have existing elements on the homepage. I'll just scroll down very slowly. You can see there's all kinds of boxes on your homepage. Every individual box is called a widget. Here's 6 widgets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 widgets. A widget is one block of data. If you think of your homepage as a jigsaw puzzle, then widgets are all your puzzle pieces. You can move anything you want around. You can also remove anything you want around. For example, this website sponsor, what if I want to move it to the other side? I will drag it. I'm holding my mouse. Now, I'm not letting go of my mouse. That's really important, right? I'm waiting for a green drop here box. If I don't see it, right? If there's no green drop here box, then it won't move to where I want it. So I'm going to click, left click and hold. I'm going to go here. And now that the drop here box is right here, I'm going to let go, and I just moved my website sponsors. You know what? I want to put it back. So I'll click and drag, and I'll put it back there. And that's essentially, if you can get that, you're 70% on your way to arranging your homepage, because that's what you're doing. You're moving jigsaw puzzle pieces around and also creating new puzzle pieces. So if you want to create new jigsaw puzzle pieces, it's all here on the left side. I'm going to click this little triangle beside the word pre-formatted widgets. These are all the widget sections. We have lots of widgets, all different types. Pre-formatted, essentials, carousels, and so on. When you click the triangle, you can expand or shrink that section. It's called an accordion menu. For example, what kind of carousels do I have? I can click and I can actually see all the different image carousels that I've made. And if I click, I can hide that section and look at all the other sections. So I'm going to start with pre-formatted widgets. I'm not going to have time to go over every widget one by one, but basically, remember the puzzle pieces? Here's the puzzle blocks. Here's the puzzle pieces. Take something and you drag it into the left side. Here's a puzzle piece on the right side. Drag it onto the left side, and now you've created a new little jigsaw puzzle piece on your homepage. For example, the first pre-formatted widget says article with left image. So I'm just going to take this. See, it's got a plus sign. That means it's ready to drag. I'm going to take it, drag it, and I put it here in the middle. And you can see I'm a little, you got to be steady with your mouse, right? I got to make sure that it drops here, and I let go. And now I've got a little section that I can fill in. A pre-formatted widget is filled in for you, or I'm sorry, the sections are ready for you. You put in the content, but the layout is pre-formatted. So there's a title at the top, and I'm just going to put the word title, and there's some text here, and I'm going to put the word, I don't know, I'll just use my name again, okay? And I can format it like, hey, I want to center this. And then there's a button, there's an image right here. Here's how to edit these widgets. I'm going to hover my mouse over an element, right? The X in any widget is removed. So just be wary of that, right? If you click on this, you'll remove the widget. This is not delete. This is remove. The difference is if you delete the widget, it's zapped, it's gone. Removing just means, okay, well, in fact, you know what? I'll remove it. Okay, I got rid of it. It's not deleted. What happened is it's actually just here, right? So here, I'll actually just, I removed it, but it's still stored here. Like I can just drag it back and there it is again. Okay. Actually, this is, but so that's, here, let me actually just go like this and I'll do this kind of quickly so you can see how it's done. Right. You can add your text. Now you actually notice I accidentally dragged the wrong widget. This is actually, if you notice, and some of you I know will, I actually flipped it. My old widget, the image was on the left side. This widget, the image is on the right side. So I actually dragged the wrong widget in. It doesn't bother me because I'm just demoing, but just be aware as you start building your site, you're going to get a lot of widgets. So there's going to be quite a few. If you're not sure which is which, for example, triple image above text, there's like six of them or something like that. So if you're not sure which triple image above text you were working on, hover over any image, I'm sorry, any widget, click the magnifying glass. It'll give you a preview of just that widget, right? So I'll X that out. I'll do it again. Let's look at number 5. I'll click the magnifying glass. It gives me a preview of just that widget. So you can kind of figure out, geez, which is the widget I needed to restore again? I accidentally removed it. So here, I'm going to get rid of this because it's, I'll just leave that. Now there's tons more widgets. There's tons more options. I'm going to keep going and I apologize for that. But what I just want to mention kind of in closing in the website designer, there's a lot to explore. And, we have an entire webinar is dedicated just to the website designer. In fact, we have an entire website designer beginner and an entire website designer advanced. It's actually in the PDF because, it's a really important element. So definitely explore. There's more to talk about. Actually, lots more that I won't be able to cover tonight. What is a theme? I'll just briefly mention. I'm going to click here on this gray button that says themes. Themes are the colors and the fonts of your website. You can change them very quickly. This is my theme. You'll see a light blue box around community because this is my active theme. This is the theme I've got. Now, what if I want a different theme? Let's go to, I don't know, let's go to impression, just as an example. And there's a big box and little boxes. This is the main color scheme. These are the secondary color options. So I can click the big box and I'll do that right now. So what I did is I just changed the appearance. It's not a drastic change, but it's still, you might like this better, you might not. And you know what? I'm going to go down to impression and I'm going to try, I don't know, I'll try this theme, or I'm sorry, this little color. And website aesthetics, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you like. What you like might not be what someone else likes. So you can essentially experiment with your themes all day long. We have about 7 of them, not including the several different color options. So you can come here, you can just keep on sampling. Hey, you know, there's a mid-century. Look, that looks like a rotary gold. What does that look like? Hey, that might be interesting, you know. So you can just keep on choosing your themes. If you don't click publish, right? I haven't published anything. I'm going to click go back. Your theme doesn't save. So you can keep sampling and be like, yeah, I spent like 10 minutes looking at all the themes. I don't like any of them. I'm going to stick with what we got. So I'm going to hover and click open, and it goes back to the theme I had. So like I said, be aware of the publish button. It's a way for you to kind of like, I don't really want to commit to this yet. I'll come back and publish later. Okay. Layouts, just want to talk about that briefly. How many columns should be on your homepage? Would you like 1, 2, or 3 columns? And there's all these variations. There's like a wide right and a narrow left, and there's 1 column only. So you can go through and you can look at the different layouts, and same thing, you can sample your layouts. Like I said, there's still more to talk about, but I want to move on because we have to keep going. I'm going to click the go back button right here. We're going to leave website designer. We're going to talk about something called cloud events. So in the top blue tabs, I'm going to move away from website designer. I'm going to click on events, which is right here. Sorry, I lost it for a second. And then the gray button I have to click on is cloud events right here. Okay, cloud events tickets. Okay. So you may or may not be familiar with ClubRunner events. For the moment, and this is temporary. We have 3 different pieces of event software. We have Event Planner, we have My Event Runner, we have Cloud Events. Why do we have 3? We can't get rid of the older Event Planner and My Event Runner are older. We can't get rid of them. We have thousands of users. We are not going to yank the rug out from under them. We're in this transition phase. Cloud Events is the newest event software. It came out last year. We're really excited about it. I hope you will be too, because it's more e-commerce centric. The premise of cloud events is that yes, it's you're doing events, and we're going to talk about like a barbecue or golf tournament or whatever, but you can sell items, tickets, t-shirts, mugs, all kinds of things. Flags is a big deal in Rotary, so you can do a Rotary flag sale. The way that cloud events works is that you create the event and then you put it on your homepage, and then you invite your members, because you can create the event and put it on your homepage, but most of your members may not know that the event has been made because, you know, they're probably not staring at your homepage, you know, every day, once a day. So you create it, the event, it'll go on your homepage, and you tell your members. We're going to go a little bit out of order, and this is all for sake of time. What I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to show you a finished cloud event, and then we're going to kind of talk about it and maybe reverse engineer it. So running down the left side, I'm going to click here on view event list. I made we've had this Canada Day Ribfest. I'm going to show you what a finished cloud event looks like, and then I'm going to kind of go back. So instead of clicking manage, I clicked on view event list, right? To see the cloud events I have, but I'm not going to manage it just yet. I'm going to click down arrow, and I'm going to click view event, and I can actually see this cloud event. So here's how this works. First of all, this is mobile friendly. So when you create a cloud event, anybody can sign up on their phone, because that's super important. Like I said, at least 50% of your visitors, they're on the phone. They're on their mobile phone, iPhone or Android, kind of guaranteed. So the cloud event, what is the title? When is it? Excuse me. And then you basically have a description here. For our description, we chose to list the ticket prices. This is relatively basic. You've got a nice little image. This is a picture of our ribs. This park on a phone. Now, it won't do it here on my laptop, but if you're looking at a phone and you're like, hey, how do I get here? This will activate Google Maps on an Android phone or Apple Maps on an iPhone. So the map, make sure you put it in. It's important. Since I'm logged in, I can see the person's, name and email and phone number, right? So this is the event organizer. So if I have any questions, I can talk to Natalina. The really big deal is not, I mean, this stuff is fine, but the really big deal is how you can set up registration and tickets. I'm going to click the register button. You can see all kinds of options. The point of cloud events is to sell, if you're selling one item, that's fine. Barbecue, 50 bucks or 30 bucks at the door or $30 online, done. One ticket, no problem. However, what if you have a complex event, golf tournaments, even this Rib Fest? What if you have different options? You want to offer a Rib Fest ticket. You want to offer a VIP ticket. You want to offer on and on and on. I'm just going to scroll down slowly so you can see. The whole point of this is that you can have all these different options and offer people a lot of different things to choose, like a menu of items. Just as an example, right? Um, some people, maybe they're not driving, maybe they're going to commute or take TTC or something, but a lot of people, they're going to drive. We have an option for a parking pass. Would you like to buy a parking pass? Because there's 73 left. There's a limited amount of parking passes. So that's what I mean by, you can offer all kinds of options now. And it's slightly more e-commerce centric. Here's the e-commerce part. My son, he's really, I don't know, really into t-shirts for whatever reason. I'm going to buy my son a t-shirt. Now, here's the t-shirt section of this event. This is built into the event. I'm going to click show options, and he's a medium. So I'm going to get my son a medium t-shirt. As I'm checking out and buying my family tickets and Ribfest tickets and all that. So you can do a lot more things now with cloud events. And hopefully it's much easier because that's the whole point of this. It doesn't matter if exists, if it's super really complicated to do. I'm choosing t-shirts and then, all kinds of things. Your club has the option to accept online donations as part of the event. This is 100% optional. I really like this club. I'm going to donate $5 to it. I don't have to. I can just leave it zero. But you can now accept donations as part of the event registration if the person decides to donate. Here's the big caveat or asterisk. You can use cloud events now. It's on your club site. It's on your district site. That's a guarantee. It's already there. You might not have seen it before, but it's there. If you want to collect online credit cards, like you want actually people to pay online using their credit card, your club needs to set up called Bambora. That is our Bambora. That's our online credit card payment provider in Canada. And your club has to have Bambora in order to collect credit card payments. You don't need Bambora to use cloud events. What you do is, okay, well, you have to pay at the door or give us a check. So you can use cloud events regardless if you have payment or not, payment provider or not. But if you want to collect credit cards from your registrants, like, I'm filling this out. Let me show you. I'm going to click on proceed to checkout. And now it's going to ask for all my information. It gives me a breakdown. And then it's going to ask me, for credit card information. Bambora is installed on this club site. If you don't have Bambora installed on this club site, on your club site, this credit card section, this payment section will just be checked. It'll just be.
How do you spell that, Mickey?
Bambora. Here, let me put that up here. Okay, so we'll go here. Okay, it's a good question. So Bambora is our online payment provider in Canada. Okay, so your club must sign up for Bambora. Okay, only if you need online credit card payments. Okay, I'm going to leave that for a second because that's an important facet of all this. You do not need Bambora. It is not required. You can use cloud events and just accept check and cash at the door. If you want to accept credit cards, your club has to sign up for Bambora. It is an extra cost. Okay. So let me move this out of the way. You know what? Since we're talking about this and this is going to be recorded, I'm gonna break away from this. So I'm gonna open a new tab. Bear with me. I'm sorry, but I said the word cost, and you're probably like, oh, this is gonna be so. How expensive is it? So Here, let me just show you the cost. Okay, so this is this is I don't think I put this on the PDF. So this is I went to Google and I typed in ClubRunner Bambora. Here's the cost per transaction, so you can see it, so it's recorded. We want to be transparent about this. Is it worth it for your club to have Bambora so you can have credit card payment? It's up to your club. Okay, so it's 3.25% plus 25 cents per transaction. There's no yearly, monthly fees, none of that stuff. It's just this is the cost of Bambora per transaction. I'm going to close this off, and I'm going to try not to go too far behind. But
I see two quick questions here,
yes.
Bill and Raphael. If do you guys want to ask your quick question before we move on?
Sure. Just to clarify, the use of Bambora is no different than what we have now. If you use Event Runner or Event Planner, you still have to use Bambora. Mickey, do you see this as replacing my Event Runner?
Short answer, yes. Longer answer, not yet, but
Because
still
I don't
yes.
see
Yeah.
in my Event Runner, you get the options for the survey questions. You get I can see how you could work in the packages, but I don't see how you would work in the timelines or the survey questions. Is that coming as part of this?
It should be, yeah. Let's go. That's a good question. So here, let's leave this. I'm going to go into the member area. Okay. So we've seen, so let's try to answer Bill's question. And I'm sorry, I know someone else had one too. Raphael had one. Let's try to answer Bill's question first, and we'll get to Raphael. So uh, where are the questions in cloud events? Because there's questions in my event runner. I'm now back in the member. Sorry, I did that very quickly. Here's the live event. I was just here. I'm gonna click on my tab and go to the member area. So that's why I like having two tabs open. I can switch really fast. This is my RibFest. Instead of just viewing, I'm gonna click on manage. This is a pre-built event. I don't know if I have time to make one from scratch. That's why I made one pre-built. You will be setting up the cloud event. As part of that, I'm going to click here. Now, there's a lot of buttons to go over. So what I'll just do is, this is actually pre-made. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit. We're not making one from scratch. I don't know if I'll have time because we got to keep moving on. But after you make your event, you'll have all different sections, all different analytics, all different options. So I'm going to skip orders and attendees. I'm going to try and get back to it. I'm going to click here on setup. Okay. So when I click on setup, the blue button I'm looking for is called form. These are basically, what after I'm done all the setup, like, I can look at my orders, who's attending, I can send emails to everybody, I can look at the documents associated for the cloud event. The setup, we're kind of rewinding. Like I said, I'm kind of cheating a little here. We're reverse engineering this event, but the setup is where you do the setup. So here's the event details, here's the venue map. Now I'm going to skip a few things and I'm going to go to form. So you can ask questions just like you can ask questions in my event runner. Now, we wanted to make sure this is advanced because it's not just like copy paste, like, here's in my event runner, here's cloud events, so just looks a bit nicer. My event runner, one of the biggest requests, conditional questions. It's not in my event runner. Cloud events has what's called, you can ask, Bill was asking about questions, right? You can ask all kinds of questions in cloud events as well as you can do in my event runner. In cloud events, you can make a conditional question. What does that mean? If X, then Y. If someone answers, yes, I have a car, then show them the parking pass. If they say, no, I don't have a car, don't worry about a parking pass. That's just a very quick example, but that's what you can do. You can kind of here. I don't want to get too deep into this, but you can choose if they're if they're interested in what event. You get the idea. I don't want to get too. I don't want to ramble too much, but definitely please try this out. So let me shorten my answer because that was a very long-winded answer. in response to Bill's answer, yes, you can set up questions exactly like just like you can in My Event Runner, except you have more this time. You now have the ability to and conditional questions. They are for advanced users. They're not everybody's going to use them, but our advanced users are like kind of like sighing in relief. Oh, finally, you got conditional questions. We really needed them. So that's the short version, short answer to Bill's question. That took me a while to get there. Let's get to Raphael. He's been very patient. Go ahead, Raphael. You had
Yeah, so I was just wondering, if you go to the Bambora website, it doesn't do anything. You have to do it through the link through Worldline. What exactly do they need from you to set it up?
So what you fill out an application. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm just gonna write down your name because what I'll do, Raphael, is I'm gonna email you tomorrow. Just give me 1 second, please. Don't tell me any, I can see your name. Please don't tell me any because this is being recorded. Okay, so you don't have to tell me anything. Okay. Actually, how about this? Could you tell me your club name?
Palgrave
It's,
Rotary.
could you repeat that?
It's a Palgrave Rotary.
I'll find you. So what I'll do, Raphael, is I'm gonna email you. Please don't say your email or phone number and all that because it's being
It's all
recorded.
public anyway. Doesn't matter.
And then what I'll do is we'll talk tomorrow. I'll put you in touch with our Bambora contact. You talk to them, you fill out some forms. Bambora has to be connected to your bank, right? So you have to set up bank accounts and do all that stuff. I'll make sure you can get all that done. You can just talk to our rep and just ask them questions and then walk away if Bambora doesn't work for you. So I'll be talking to you, Raphael. Thank you. And then Louise has a question. Thank you,
I
Louise.
do. Yes, I do. My question is around the Bambora that when you do multiple things in a day, like you've got meals for $32, then you've got Bambora's using for your credit card payments for dues. So when that money drops in your bank account, it's like one big lump sum and there's no way to divide it out. And you have to run reports in each of the areas to try to balance the accounting. Is there a fix for that, or is that just the way Bambora runs?
There's a fix. I wouldn't say it's a fix. It's been in there, but the name is deceptive. I'm going to click here on Inside Cloud Events. I'm going to click on tickets and e-commerce. This is like the business end. Like, what are you selling? Okay, RibFest tickets. Let me just edit this. So, and then, like I said, I'm sorry I'm not making one from scratch. I kind of knew, I had a feeling I wouldn't get a chance to do everything from scratch today. The RibFest ticket and the actions column, and I'm sorry, I know a lot of you, this is brand new. I'm going to click the little triangle and I'm going to edit this ticket. Okay. And this is what I wanted to show. The ticket code, what happens is there's transactions and you're sending this and you're doing that and you're purchasing this and that and the other. And, it's like, okay, well, this person paid $20 and $10. Well, great. What was that for? Like, the ticket gets associated with the amount. If my RibFest ticket is, I think it's $5. Okay. So it's going to show up in Bambora as 5 with a code of RGA. I don't know why it's RGA, but anyways, it should be like RibFest ticket. But the code kind of gets attached to the payment and gets sent up to Bambora. So now it's not 5, it's 5 RGA, if that makes sense. And because a lot of the bookkeepers are like, what's this $5 thing for again? Oh, it's RGA and it's for this event and everything's dated and it was paid by John Smith. So that's basically what you're looking for. Just especially if you have Bambora, put codes in everything. Everything you sell should have a code. The event itself has a place like an event code. Code everything. Make it short. Codes should not have spaces, right? So, but you can have a hyphen instead of a space. And don't try to have really complicated characters, letters, numbers, and dashes. Try to keep it simple, but keep that code, make it short, make it memorable so that when you're now, a month from now, you're reviewing all the books and all this stuff. It's like, okay, RGA, and it's for this event. And, so now you can reverse engineer that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
it
that
does.
would be the same story. That would be the same now for Event Runner and Event Planner.
Good. There's actually an event
you could do it now.
Yeah, there's an event code in My Event Runner and an event planner as well. This is not a new thing, the ticket code. It's just I wanted to show you it's there. But the ticket code, a lot of people, they don't, what is a code? They don't know what it is. And I'm really glad we're talking about it because it's actually, especially if you have Bambora or something like that, really important because exactly what Louis said, here's a bunch of like $5 things. What is all that for? As long as they have a code beside it, now you can decipher what exactly is this $5 amount for. And Bill is right that not a new feature. It's not, you don't have to use cloud events. My event runner has a ticket and event codes. Event planner has ticket and event codes. So, but it's not as a well-known feature as it should be. So thank you for asking. I'm going to click cancel. Oh boy, I might have to keep going. Yes, I guess I do. Okay, so I just want to wrap up cloud events. And like I said, I kind of we once again, what you're seeing today in these advanced webinars, we have full-blown webinars just for the topic. We have the website designer, that's its own webinar. We have cloud events, that's its own webinar as well. We have so today you're just getting a taste. I hope it's enough of a taste to pique your interest and say, I'm going to try this cloud event thing. Because like I said, even if you don't have Bambora, there's no cost for cloud events. The credit card payment module costs, but if you just want to do cash and check, you can use cloud events in your ClubRunner club site like today. So just in summary for the cloud events, here I'm going to click on dashboard. Okay. Just very quickly, and like I said, I cheated. I set this up already. After you do the setup of a cloud event, you'll have all these tabs. I'm going to just talk about the tabs and move on to the next thing. The dashboard is a really nice set of analytics because clubs really like how much donations, who's buying what, and all these things are kind of just figured out for you. So you'll see it constantly updating graphs and charts and numbers. So, it's really, we hope it's going to be super useful for your club. Otherwise, we want you to use these things, right? I'm going to click on orders. You can see all the orders, right? Who ordered what, when, what did Cab Huckabee, what did they order? They ordered all this, and then there was actually attendees because maybe he's bringing his wife or his kids or whatever, and you can see all this stuff. So that's the orders is really useful. But once again, my event runner has an orders page. This one, we just hope looks nicer and it's easier to search. Attendees, why is there orders and attendees? That doesn't, so orders are who are the registrants. The registrant is the person who paid. Like I'm the registrant. I placed an order, okay? But I'm gonna bring my wife and my 2 kids. So that means that there's one order, me, Mickey, and there's 4 people because I'm bringing my wife and 3 kids. So the attendees, that's why we break it off into attendees. Who else is coming? Let's look at all the people who are actually coming. That's the attendees. And I'm sorry to race through this. Email, okay? Let's send an invitation to my club. Hey, everybody, here's my cloud event. Please register, tickets or whatever. So you can send an invite out to everybody in your club or to, maybe just start with your board members, whatever you'd like. The new email, there's a new invitation and a new email. Why? Why are there 2 orange buttons and not just one? An email is a follow-up because you can say, you know what? All the people who purchased VIP family packs, we want to tell them XYZ. So you send a follow-up and you target based on what people chose. Oh, all the people who bought a parking pass, we better tell them, I don't know, whatever. You get the idea that the new email is a way for you to follow up with everybody, or you target who bought what. Let's just talk to the people who bought parking passes because we want to tell them XYZ. And the last thing before I move on is documents, this tab. So the event can have documents. In fact, it can have 2 types. It can have a public document. So let's say you have a flyer or a menu or what have you, and it's just like public info. We want people to download our PDF and now they can, look at it on their phone. Or it can be this little padlock. This document means it's a private document. It requires login. Let's say it's a list of your club members and their email addresses. That is not public info, or it should never be public info. So you make sure that type of document is here. Let me just show you. I'm going to click here and I'm going to click edit settings. And like I said, I'm sorry, I kind of raced through this. This type of document is requires login, meaning if someone tries to download this particular document, we're going to ask them to log in. If they don't log in, they can't see the document. And I'm going to click cancel. And this type of document, which doesn't have a padlock icon, I'm going to click on the down arrow and then edit settings. It's public, meaning, hey, look at my event and look at this document. Nobody needs to log in. And the whole thing with cloud events, you don't need logins. A lot of people are like, I don't remember my login. You put in your registration information, you put in, especially for something like a golf tournament, right? You have to have teams and stuff. That's where the attendees come in. Like, okay, I'm registering, and then I'm going to have to register like 10 people, right? Because some golf tournament teams are very big. So you can do that now in cloud events, and you can list John Smith and Jane Doe and Mary and all these other people. They're the team in my golf tournament package. I'm really sorry to move on, but I know we've got to get through three more. Okay, we're going to keep going. And please do ask more questions. These questions are awesome, but I'm going to move on to bulletins. So we're going to leave cloud events, but maybe we'll return to it in Q&A because what will happen is I'm hoping around 8 p.m. is that we'll have some Q&A for about 30 minutes. I'm going to move to the bulletin section. I'm going to try to slow myself down because I got a little excited and a little fast here. So I'm going to click on bulletin and then I click on manage bulletins. Okay. You can send emails out of ClubRunner. I think most of you may know that already. That's kind of like, yeah, that's old news. A bulletin is a visually rich email. It's still an email. You know, like you go to Gmail and Hotmail and Yahoo and AOL and you say, hey, Bob, meetings tomorrow at 10 a.m. And that's fine. It's plain text. It's nothing fancy. That's one type of email. Here's what a bulletin email looks like. Instead of your email, hello, Bob, meeting is at 10 a.m., your email can look like this. And this is a bulletin, and you create it in ClubRunner. So, like I said, I wasn't sure if I could do everything from scratch today. So we have some pre-made ones. I'm going to click on Manage Bulletins. Let's just kind of very briefly go over all these sections, okay? When you click Bulletin, after you log into your club site, you click Bulletin, then Manage Bulletins. You'll come to the Bulletin home screen, okay? First thing you'll see are all your recent bulletins. What have you been working on lately? So these ones are kind of in various stages. Most clubs, they work on one bulletin at a time, but that's not always true. So, these are the recent bulletins. This big button, you can create a brand new bulletin, which we'll actually maybe just try that, view bulletins. You can view a lot of your bulletins, including archive bulletins, okay? The quick links section right here, quick links, is actually kind of useful. You can go to your bulletin settings. You can manage bulletin groups. What is a group? So your bulletin can be categorized. I'll give you two groups: members bulletin, non-members bulletin. Some clubs, they try to keep their outside people or prospects or what have you. They have it in. They create a bulletin, and they don't create a bulletin every week. Maybe it's once a month, and they just send it out to the community, and that's their non-member bulletin. You don't have to use that group, but that's what a group means. It's just categories, ways for you to categorize your bulletin. Okay, manage my templates. When you create a bulletin and you like it, like let's say, I was looking at this thing, I kind of like this design, I want to use it again. You can create your own bulletin template and just keep reusing it over and over again. That's what manage my templates is. I'm going to click on this because, like I said, I'm going to click here, and you can see I have two templates: this 3-story layout and this bulletin template. I get to reuse it over and over again, and I can also edit it. Maybe I didn't like how something looked. I'm going to hover over bulletin template. When I click open, right, I'm here on the template list. I'm not on the bulletin list. It's different things. I'm editing not a bulletin, but a bulletin template, okay? And the difference is a bulletin is something you're going to email to people. A template is internal for you. You're not emailing the template. You're emailing the bulletins that you create. So I'm going to edit this little template just so you can see. And I'm going to talk about the interface, but I just want you to know I'm actually editing a template here. I'm not editing the actual bulletin, but you can do that. Now, let's actually look at the bulletin interface. So I'm going to click on Manage Bulletins to get me back to my bulletin home screen. I'm going to click Create Bulletin. Okay. When I do this, and if you've never created a bulletin, you will do exactly this. You'll go there, you'll click the big create bulletin button. The first thing is these are the ClubRunner templates. So these are all the templates that are kind of pre-built into your website. So you can choose one of these. If you don't like any of these, we have blank templates. That doesn't mean it's like a white piece of paper. It just means we have placeholder images, right? You can put, like, you see these 4 squares right here. I'll click preview, right? You can put in a little image here that's wide. You can put in these 4 little image blocks. That's what a blank template means. It's just placeholder information, and then you put in the content on top of it, right? You just replace it. And then, of course, yeah, last section, my templates. Remember, I had 2 bulletin templates. So a lot of clubs, their workflow is this. The first time ever, they'll go into ClubRunner, they'll spend the longest on creating the nicest bulletin template they can. That's you. When I say longest, like I've actually talked to some people on the phone, like they'll spend half an hour or whatever. They'll make it look as pretty as possible, and they'll spend their time on it because they don't want to do that ever again. They're going to take that template next week, next week, next week. They're just going to select the template, click on next. Let's do it. I'm going to select this template. I'm going to click on next. And what I'm doing is I'm creating, oh, sorry, there it is. I'm creating a copy of the template, right? And now this bulletin is ready to edit. Now, I know it says design bulletin template. So the first thing, actually, before I get to there, what are the interface elements, or how does the bulletin designer work? So here we are in the bulletin designer. I'm actually going to design this thing. Along the top are the 4 major stages of a bulletin. Create, we've already kind of created it. Now we're in the design phase. There's a preview step and a send where you email your members. Then save and exit. You're not always going to be able to do a bulletin in one shot. So, time for coffee break, save and exit. I'll come back to it tomorrow. Next, what that means is move to the next phase. If I click that, it'll take me to the preview phase. Okay. And then remember how the homepage designer had all these widget sections? I'm going to click the little arrow here. The bulletin is very similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. And this is 100% on purpose. If you can figure out the website designer, you learned about at least half the bulletin designer. They're very similar. Remember what I said? There's a pre-formatted widget, right? The text only. Your jigsaw puzzle, your bulletin is basically a jigsaw puzzle too. Take this first element, drag it to the left, look for that drop here box. If you don't see a drop here box, it's not going to work. Okay, so drop here, and then start typing. Here is some text. And there you go. And I can add images, and I can do all kinds of things that I'm not going to have time to do today just because I've got 2 more sections to cover. But like I said, if you're going to familiarize yourself with the website designer, you're actually familiarizing yourself with like 50% of the bulletin design. And there's a lot of overlap here. Okay, I'm going to just remove this. I don't like this little box here. When I click preview, it'll give me a preview of the bulletin, right? Oh, or it'll give me an error message. Oh, that's interesting. What happened there? Give me 1 second here. Let's wonder what happened. All right, something is going on. Sorry, I'm going to save and exit. I'm not sure what happened there. So here, I'm going to reopen it. Okay, this is in the list of recent bulletins. I actually have a bulletin. It's still called bulletin template. I have to rename it. But I want to click on preview. Oh boy. Okay, good. I don't know why there was an error message before, so I apologize. And of course, that was recorded, so that's always nice to get those error messages recorded. But this is a preview of the bulletin. You can see the bulletin without all the interface elements. So this is what it's going to look like on someone's email box, right? So you can see, and I'm scrolling down, and I'm just checking all this. I'm going to scroll up to the top. And the first thing I want to do is I don't want to call this thing bulletin template. That's confusing. I use my bulletin template. That's not what the name of this bulletin is. I'm going to go back to the design phase. To remember, just like the website designer, if you want to edit something, hover over it. I'm going to hover over the words bulletin template. I'm going to click on it. And look at, when I click on it, look here on the right side. When I click on bulletin template, I can now change the name. I'm going to call it a weekly bulletin, we'll call it weekly. This is not a creative name. You make your name more creative. Was it? It's April. Actually, it's April 25th, but let's say this bulletin is going out on Saturday. What is that? The 27th, I think. So April 27th, right? Let's say the bulletin is going to go out in a couple of days. And I can even change the date of the bulletin to go out on Saturday, right? Now I'm going to gloss over a lot of stuff. I apologize because, and I'm going to click save. So it still says bulletin template. As soon as I click save, it's now changed the name. This makes a lot more sense to me now than bulletin template, and I can keep going on. I'm going to click on preview, and I haven't even edited this bulletin right now, but like I said, for the sake of time, I'm going to keep moving on. The final step is send. The send, if you've ever sent an email out of ClubRunner, sending a bulletin, like I said, overlap, more or less the same. You select your recipient in step one. This is the email subject. I don't like this plain email subject. I'm going to say club bulletin. Oops, I'm trying to spell it right. April 27th, right? Okay. So, and so on and so forth. I guess I should talk about archiving, right? When you have a bulletin, you can archive the bulletin. What does that mean? When you send a bulletin, you may not want anyone to touch it ever again. Like, I don't want someone to noodle around with this thing in 3 weeks because I spent all this time getting the content right. If you archive a bulletin, it's the same thing as locking the bulletin. You take the active bulletin, you store it in the bulletin archives. You can store bulletin archives. One district, they have 12 years of bulletin archives. As long as you're a ClubRunner subscriber, you can put as many bulletins in the archive as you feel like. Like I said, that district, I don't know how many, they have thousands of bulletins. That's what archive means. It's literally just a place to safely store your bulletin. If you click yes, you are saying, I'm done editing this bulletin. If a bulletin is archived, it's locked. You can't touch it anymore. So you can say no, like send the bulletin, make sure it's good, archive it like, a couple of days later, because once you archive, it's locked. Okay. I want to just talk about one last thing and I really have to move on. I'm sorry okay, reply to, okay. You send a bulletin, right? And then let's say it's about an event or you're just advertising whatever you need to advertise. But you know what? Your members, they're going to reply and they're going to have questions and you'll be like, I don't want to answer the questions. I don't know all, I'm the person in charge of making the bulletin, but we're advertising this big event, let's say golf tournament, right? Bob, Rotarian Bob, he's the guy who knows everything about the golf tournament. So I don't want to get the replies. I'm going to have to ask Bob anyways. This reply to redirects the replies. You can say when someone clicks reply, it'll go to Bob, right? It won't come to me, even though I'm the one sending the bulletin. As soon as someone clicks reply, it's going to go to Bob. So I just want you to know that hopefully might be a feature that's useful to you. You can be the one, like there's bulletin editors in clubs. I've talked to a lot of them. They're not the ones in charge of everything. They're just making the bulletin. So if you need to route the replies to somebody else, you can do that in a bulletin. Okay. I'm going to stop, move on to the next thing because I'm looking at the clock. I know I'm going to go over time a little bit, but like I said, we're still going to get to Q&A. I'm going to move away. Actually, I'll save and exit. Just get in the habit of clicking save and exit, right? Wherever you are, right? There's my weekly club bulletin, April 27th. I can now edit this tomorrow or next week. I'm going to click on volunteers and I'm going to click on, I'll click on welcome. Why not? I'll click the first one. We talked about events and your events, you are going to have, like I had the barbecue rib fest at golf tournaments. You're going to have all kinds of events. That's fine. You're going to need people to register. And you're going to need people to help you because it's not enough to say, well, I have a barbecue, right? Fine. I need grill masters for my club. I need drivers. I need people to do groceries. I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need volunteers. The old method, like I said, I've talked to lots of people, a clipboard. Hey, John and Mary and Frank and Sue and Bob and whoever, you want to sign up and help to be a driver and do this and do that. And what you're hoping for, fingers crossed, that you never lose that clipboard or that piece of paper because the person forgot to photocopy it. This replaces all of that. This is an online way to recruit your club members to do volunteer activities. You do it by creating a volunteer sign-up list. This process is similar, just like creating an event and all that. You create the thing, the volunteer list in this case. You email your members, and then you tell your members, hey, please sign up for these 5, 10, 50 volunteer activities. We need help with XYZ. And that's how, in a nutshell, that's how a volunteer list works. Let's go look at a volunteer list. I'm going to click here on, it's the same button, right? Here or here. I'm going to click on View Sign Up Lists. So I'm created some just because, like I said, for sake of time, I didn't want to start from scratch. So this is the barbecue prep, right? It's fine that we have a barbecue, but we're going to need some help. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need people to do certain things. Once again, I'm cheating here because I'm showing you the end result, and I really want to create a new sign-up list. Maybe I'm sorry, I can't do that. I just want to make sure we have enough time for Q&A. If you'd like to create a sign-up list during Q&A, we can. Here's the volunteer list for barbecues. And like I said, I'm cheating a little bit. Let me show you the end result. I'm going to click here on sign-up list. This is what a sign-up list looks like. Okay, and once again, we're reverse engineering. Here's the end. The end is I've got some tasks. I've got on June 29th, I need someone to be the barbecue person. And then on June 29th, at the end of the thing, I need a post-barbecue cleanup. And you might have several more. You might need a driver. You might need groceries, all the things I mentioned. So you're creating sign-up lists. And the way that this works is you're going to email your members a link to this special private sign-up list page. Notice I haven't left my website. This is an internal volunteer sign-up list. When you send a volunteer invitation, you're going to tell people, hey, click this button. It'll take you to this page. Now, club member Bob and Mary and Sue and whoever, click sign up because we need your help for this activity. Okay? And you can see I've only got 1 of 3 people booked here, and this one has 0 of 4 because I need 4 people to do the post cleanup. So I really need some help here. The nice thing about the volunteer list is, you send it, and then a week later, hey, look, like 3 people have signed up. So you send a follow-up email. Thank you to Bob, Mary, and Frank for signing up. Everybody else, please, we need your help. You send a follow-up email, just like you'd send a follow-up email for an event. Okay, let me close this tab. Let me just talk about very briefly how this works. So I'm going to click here. Let's kind of look over a little bit of the design of this. Here, let me go back, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go over time a little bit, but I really feel terrible for not doing this from scratch. I'm going to click on it. Let's do it from scratch. I'm going to click on create new sign up list. Okay, and just call this Mickey's test. Okay, and let's just say, actually, that's a very terrible name. Let's just say this is for, I don't know, a dinner gala volunteers, right? We have a big dinner gala, but we need some help. When is the dinner gala? It is May 25th. Let's just take that, okay? And I'm just going to copy this, and I'm sorry to do this a bit fast, but I just want you to see it. I'm not going to put in times. You should definitely put in times. I'm going to skip it. Is the sign-up list open to the public? No. Is it linked with an event? Sure. Right? What does all this mean? Is the sign-up list public? You can actually make your sign-up list public if you have what's called enhanced volunteers. Boy, I'm getting kind of a little deep here. All clubs, if you have ClubRunner Standard, you've got standard volunteers. Standard volunteers are club members only. It's a paid add-on if you need public volunteers. If you need members from the public, Joe Q public, they're not a Rotarian, you can do that in ClubRunner, but it's a paid add-on. That's the enhanced feature, which is a public sign-up list. It's not internal to the website. It's actually living on your external website. Anybody can sign up and do that, and that's a paid upgrade. But your volunteer standard, you just sign up any member of your club that you want. Okay, so that's what it means. And then you want to link this with an event? Yeah, most of the time it's going to be linked with some kind of event that you've already, got ready. Okay, who's the sign up list chair? And, who is the person in charge of the event? I'm sorry, I said the word event. Who's the person in charge of the volunteer list? It might not be your event chair, it might be somebody else, right? Maybe it's a volunteer coordinator. Should the chair, the volunteer chair, should they get an email every time somebody volunteers? And some volunteer coordinators love it. Like, yeah, give me an email. And some are like, don't give me an email every time. I'll just check the volunteer list every couple of days. I don't want all those emails. So it's up to you. Or it's up to the volunteer chair what their preference is. Okay, this is the big thing, and I'm gonna try and do this quickly. And I know I'm okay. I got one more thing after this. So okay, I'm not gonna touch this. Um, I'm gonna click create sign up list. A shift is our terminology. We have shifts and groups and tasks and people per task. And boy, that sounds confusing and abstract. It kind of is, because on this screen, and we're looking at kind of revising this screen, it's still in the abstraction phase. What is a shift? What is a task? What is a group? Do the tasks have a start and end time? I'm just gonna choose no. I'm just gonna do the default values, and I'm gonna create a sign up list. Once you can visualize this a little better, like a table, I hope that it's a little easier. Your group does not have to be called group. Here, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna click edit. Your group can have the name Monday, and then pick, I don't know, pick a date. I don't know, Monday, May 22nd. I have no idea. I'm just doing something random. Now I can add a group. I can add another group. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to call it Tuesday, May 23rd. I hope that you're kind of getting the idea. So you can now organize everything, if you want, by day, because on Monday, we're going to need X amount of tasks. On Tuesday, we're going to need Y amount of tasks, and Thursday and when. So that's how this works. You can organize things. This shift thing, boy, that's super generic. That's not a very nice name. I'm going to click edit. And instead of shift, I'm going to say shopping, right? Shopping and prep. Okay. And I'm just going to leave everything else blank just because I'm kind of over time here. Now this is starting to look more like a list that a human could read. On Monday, May 22nd, I need one person to be my shopping and prep person. And then on Tuesday, I need this. On Wednesday, or maybe Tuesday is a big day or whatever, you can now start filling in the blanks on this volunteer list. So create your volunteer list. Once you're done and you know you've got all the tasks assigned, or I'm sorry, all the tasks ready, you can email it to your members and say, hey, hi, Rotarians, I need help on Monday, Tuesday, and then Friday, and then Saturday's our big day. Please sign up for whatever you can to help volunteer. I'm going to stop with volunteers. I'm going to talk about the mobile app briefly, okay? Because I want to get to Q&A. Like I said, I hope I didn't race through that too fast, but I'm going to go to the mobile app. Okay, so for that, I got to go here. We actually discussed the mobile app in the beginner, but I'm just going to kind of go over it again because it actually is worth repeating. You may have heard about the ClubRunner mobile app, or you may not have. You may have actually already downloaded the ClubRunner mobile app. So it's getting a little dark here. I'm going to turn on a light. Well, no, bright orange. The ClubRunner mobile app is a stripped down, simplified, easier to use version of ClubRunner. Whereas the technical people, the people who are more computer savvy, might use the full-blown laptop, desktop version of ClubRunner. Your general membership, which is usually like 2/3 of your club, is the general members. They're going to come to the meetings. They want to help. They want to register. They're the ones who are going to use the mobile app, or they're the ones where the mobile app will entice them the most. Why? Because the mobile app, first of all, it fits in your pocket. You got a phone, you probably have one. You're probably looking at one right now. So check, that's done. If you have an iPhone or Android, the mobile app is free. I'm using air quotes because it comes included with the subscription. So, and by the way, what if, this is District 7080. What if the club, your Rotary Club, does not have its own ClubRunner subscription. Is the app free? Yes. You can use the district version of the mobile app if your club doesn't have its own ClubRunner subscription. So it's free to all 2,000 plus members of District 7080. So let's talk about that. I'm already logged into the app. Like I said, I'm kind of strapped for time here. I'm going to click the 3 lines. There's a lot of functions going on, and the way that now I'm using a simulator. So, but you would tap with your finger, right? So let's just go all the way down. There's a My ClubRunner section in the app, a My Club section, and then a My District section in the app. If your club does not have its own ClubRunner subscription, you won't see My Club. This will not show if your club doesn't have a ClubRunner subscription. You can still use My ClubRunner. You can still use My District. It's okay if your club doesn't have ClubRunner. We'd love you to have it, but it's not a requirement. Just log in with your district login. So this is the app. Let's just go through. You can edit your profile. This is newer. I don't know if everybody knows that you can now, my phone number changed. I moved that and changed addresses. You can do all that on your phone. You don't need to lug around a laptop anymore. I can click on edit profile and I can edit my member profile. And I can do it in my pajamas using my phone at 10 p.m. at night. I'm going to close this. Okay. And yeah, I'm just going to cancel the update. I'm going to click the 3 lines. And let's move on. So all events, this is actually kind of really big. This events section on the app is for club events. Here, let me show you. I'm going to click this little, this is actually a settings thing. I'm going to tap this or simulate tapping it. You can see that's hard to read. Your club, your area, all the clubs inside your area, right? Governed by your AG, and your district. You can see all the clubs. It's not just your club events. It's all the surrounding area and district events, like a district conference or whatever. So you can see all this on your phone, on your app. You can do it right now. You can do it today. I promise it's there. So if some of this is new, download the app. And this is really kind of a pitch for you to download the app because the cost is right? It's free. So, and more important, is it useful to you? I clicked on the 3 lines. I clicked, instead of all events, I'm going to go My Attendance. You can see your attendance now. Some clubs, they don't really keep attendance anymore. It's not really required, like it's not a hard requirement. So if your club doesn't keep attendance, that's fine. The section is there. If your club uses it, great. If not, let's move on. Preferences. You can actually change your preferences. If you don't like English, you can choose a different language, but I'll leave that alone because I don't want to change from English. Sign out. I'm not going to click on that. If you click that, you'll sign out of the app. By the way, the app remembers your login. If you log in once, it knows who you are. You don't have to keep logging into it every day. So anyways, I hope that's another way to entice your users to use the app, because you can actually help someone log into their app and now they're logged in, right? So that helps out a lot. The next section is My Club. The first button is Club Notifications. The app has messaging built into the app. And now there's some caveats. It's not an email, it's not a text, not a WhatsApp. It's an app-to-app message. So you have the app, and when you send a message, everyone in your club or whoever in your district, because there's district-wide notifications as well, they're going to get that message. So if the person doesn't have the app, they're not going to get the message. The person who has the app, they don't have to have it open. They just have to have it installed on their phone. And you can now send them a message and say, you know what, I want to send to all my active members, and I want to say, meeting tomorrow is canceled, or, on and on, etc. Right? So you can actually do that now in the app. Try it out, test it. If you don't know that your app has messaging, please try it. I'm going to click the 3 lines. I'm going to go to club members. This is probably by far the biggest use of the app. The app is a living, constantly updating member directory, right? A lot of clubs, they invest time and money into a printed directory. I've actually seen some gorgeous ones. Some clubs, like, they really go overboard. The printed club directories, maybe they're booklets or binders, they're beautiful. They're out of date within a couple of weeks because Bob joins and then Frank leaves or whatever, and all of a sudden that member directory is not really up to date anymore. This is a constantly updating directory. As soon as your club secretary or membership chair terminates a member, adds a member, someone changes their phone number, it all gets updated on the app. So that's the member directory. I'm going to click 3 lines. I'm going to go to club executives. You might be thinking, well, I know who my president is and I know who my whatever is. I don't really need this. We're going to get there because remember, this is not just club-wide, it's also district-wide. So I'm going to just, this is the list of your club executives. You can call, email, or text somebody. In fact, here's Jimmy Allen. I'm going to tap his name. I can text Jimmy. I can send him a text and say, hi, Jimmy, I want to talk about whatever from the app, because remember, it's on your phone, right? You can text somebody, you can call somebody, you can email somebody. It's one-to-one for now. I know I can already anticipate that question. How do I send it to 3 people or 7 people? You can't just yet. You can't send like a group text, but you can do one-to-one texting, and it's district-wide here. So let me go back. Sorry. Uh-oh. I hope it didn't crash. Just crashed. Oh no. I had this problem last time. I'm so sorry. Hold on 1 second. Yep, it's gone. I really like this program, except it's super flaky. I think I have like a beta version. Okay, bear with me. And this is being recorded, which is phenomenal. I'm going to try it again, but you know what? I'm going to try and get into it again. Let's just see if I can. Okay. So give me about 3 seconds. And if this doesn't work, we're going to go into Q&A because actually I do have a backup plan if this doesn't work, but here, let's just load up my backup plan because I'm not sure if this is going to work. And I'm going to need to reinstall this. Oh, maybe. Okay, let's see. Fingers crossed. Okay, awesome. All right, so we're back in business. Sorry for the disruption. Okay, so I was talking about club executives. I'm going to gloss over a few things because I can, oh boy, I can see the clock. Club stories, they're your, does your club have any stories? You can read them, and stories are like blog posts, right? For a club or district level, you can read these on your phone. And then my club, I'm going to click here on my club. Once again, I know where I meet and I know who my president is. I'm going to show you why this is actually really useful because it might not be useful for your club because you already know where your club meets, but I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to club donations. I really hope there's a new feature now where if this is not TRF, this is your club website donation. If your members want to donate $1, happy buck, whatever, and your club website has Bambora. Sorry for that caveat, but because it's credit card payment, right? So you need that set up first. If your club has Bambora, they can now, your members can now donate on your phone. I'll give you a happy buck, I'll give you whatever. Okay, and I have to escape to go back. So that's a new feature. And here, let me just go here. And I'm going to talk about member search because this is where it kind of gets expanded and gets more features. You can search for somebody in your district. I met Bob or Frank or Mary or Sue, whoever, put in their names. You don't need to know which club they're in. Just how do you spell Mary or how do you spell John? And some people might have obviously harder names than that, but you can search for people, right? So I'm going to search for John Smith, right? And I'm going to search and it'll give me all the results for John Smith. There's no John Smiths in my district. Okay, all rats. But I'm going to click here. You get the idea. I'm going to keep going just because I want to get to your questions. Remember we had the club notifications. There's a district-wide version. You yourself probably won't have this button. The district notifications, you usually need a certain access level, like you need to be a district administrator or like a DG or something, because not everybody, if every member of every club could send instant messages out to everybody in the district, it'd be pandemonium. So you may not have the district notifications. Don't worry, it's an access level thing. Okay, club listing is really, I hope, really useful. The AGs find this, the area governors, assistant governors find it really valuable. I need to go visit Rotary Club of Castle Frank. I don't know where it is. Look at this nice little Google map. I'm on my Android phone or iPhone or whatever. Tap the map. I got turn directions to Rotary Club of Castle Frank. It's all here. It's all listed. If the information is in the ClubRunner database, it's also on your phone. So that's why the app is, we hope, really useful to clubs. We really want it to be. And then you can list the district executives and the district stories, right? I'm just gonna, like, these are the district level execs. Yeah, I really need to talk to my district secretary. I can send him or her a text. And then same district stories. Okay. I'm really sorry to go over time there. Oh, I didn't mean to go quite so over. I'm gonna stop here. Here, let me stop sharing my screen. Does anyone have any questions? And I'm sorry, I kind of went through a lot of stuff today. I didn't.
Hi, I do. It's Louise.
Right.
Hi, Mickey. I've got a lot of questions, but I'll just ask them one at a time and let other people. My first question is about the website. So, in order to use a link that will show the actual photo from a story in your Facebook page, you have to always use the read more and enter something in there. Is there any trick around that? So if you create a story on your homepage and then you take the URL and you put it in Facebook, it will not pull the photo. It just pulls like almost your logo. So you have to actually go into the second page and do a read more. And then when you pull that link, it will actually pull the full story.
Let's go take a look. I know what you're saying, but I feel like we've lost some of the other people. So okay, let's go here. I'm gonna move this out of the way. So I'm gonna go to website and then website content, and let's go edit a story. So the way that Facebook works, it's a little weird. I shouldn't say weird. I know Facebook is a giant corporation, but here I'm gonna click on homepage stories. Let's just go. I'm just gonna edit a pre-made story. If you Usually, if you put an image, you see, this is what I'm editing a story here, right? And there's a box here for a little thumbnail image. I can add an image into this little box. I'm just going to create this. Hey, I like this. I like the New Year logo. So I'm going to just click on that.
Oh, you
Usually,
add the image to the story. Okay.
Usually Facebook grabs that. Okay, I want to put like 17 asterisks on this. We, Club Runner, struggle with this ourselves. This Facebook grabs what's called an OG image. It's something like original graphic image or something, whatever it stands for. We don't always know where it grabs the, like, is it going to grab this image or it should grab this image? And sometimes it doesn't, it grabs a different image. And we are scratching our heads like, why doesn't it always, it should, Facebook is inconsistent in what image it grabs. Sometimes when it can't find the image it wants or the right size or whatever, it just picks something randomly on your story and says, hey, that's a nice image. I'll use that as like the thumbnail image. So we are kind of struggling with, like, because we want to give Facebook, like, here, take this image, use that on the Facebook feed. And Facebook's like, yeah, that sounds nice, but I feel like I'll sometimes kind of like grab something, whatever I like. I don't want to phrase it like that because that sounds very flippant, but we've been struggling with this for years. And the issue we call it, Facebook calls it the OG image. Yeah, put your image in here, and I hope Facebook will find your image. And I hate to like cross my fingers, but yeah, we've kind of been struggling with this a little bit as to why.
Because I've actually found the answer. You absolutely have to go. If you scroll up a bit, you have to go and scroll down. Sorry,
Scroll down.
have to go and do the story keep going down. You have to put something in the story content. If you put something in the story content, it'll pick that photo up. If you don't put anything in the story content, it just randomly picks things.
Geez, I wonder why that is. Well,
I know,
thank
but
you.
that's how we got around it. So I'll do a story, and then I'll just add, like, all I have to do is add a line item in there, just continue the story, and then somehow it instead of using random graphics, it uses the picture in the story.
Okay, yeah, and we'll keep investigating too. Like I said, I kind of hate the answer I gave. It's not the best, but yeah, Facebook gets a little random sometimes with this. And thank you for this, Louisa. It's kind of a specific issue, but it's definitely something we're kind of trying to figure out too. So I'm gonna try and see if I just put something in here, will it grab the story content? But thank you for asking this question. And I know you have more, Louise. We're gonna get back to you. Absolutely. I don't know who was first, Bill or Ingrid. I guess ladies first, Ingrid. I don't know. Go ahead, Ingrid, please.
Actually, Bill was first,
Okay,
but I
Go
have
ahead,
a quick,
Ingrid. Go ahead.
I just have a quick question. My club does not have a club subscription to ClubRunner. What is the cost of that?
Let's open up here. I'm gonna open a new tab. So, okay, and once again, I really like cheating. So the first cost is free. But when I say free, your club can try a free trial of ClubRunner. And I'm gonna get the pricing right after this. But if you're curious about ClubRunner, and I can send you the link if you like, Ingrid. You click on free trial, and you can actually request a 30-day free trial. You just fill out one form. There's no credit card or anything. You can actually use a real live ClubRunner website for 30 days and test it out. Make sure all your board members log in. Everybody tries like bulletins and website and cloud events. So that's okay. That's number one. And then here's the pricing page. Let me put it in the Zoom chat so that in case you can see it. Where's my Zoom chat? There it is. Here is the pricing page, Ingrid. Okay. And this is ClubRunner pricing. I'm going to make this a bit smaller so you can see it. Okay. It's based off your member count. So we actually, for the moment, we don't have a member count lower than 20. You can put in like 19. Oh, you can put in like 18 or whatever. So you can put in one. But it's 20 and then the next step up. And then it's like 20 to 30, 31 to 40, so on and so forth. So you put in the number of your members and then you'll get the pricing. And Ingrid, would you like a follow-up email? Because I can email you as well tomorrow.
That's okay. I'll just copy the link and I'll be able to go in there. Thank you very much.
Bill, thanks for being patient. What would you like to ask?
Well, our club does record attendance. If I'm inputting a makeup and the person I'm inputting it for has 100% attendance, I bank it. When that person misses the next meeting, is that makeup automatically assigned, or do I have to go in and say, hey, I think I've got this person with a banked makeup. Do I have to go back in and assign it, or can it happen automatically?
And both. And it's a good question. I'm going to break it down because I know Bill knows exactly what he's talking about. I want to make sure people watching this recording. So first of all, I'm going to click here on attendance. And I'm going to go to meetings. And I know there's a makeups button, but I'm just going to go to meetings. So let's break down what Bill said, because obviously Bill knows this stuff and maybe someone out there doesn't. So this is the attendance module. Maybe your club uses it. And then makeups are just a way, I missed a meeting, but I have a makeup, so I can apply that makeup to that meeting. So when someone has 100% attendance, you can't give them a makeup. They're already at 100%. They can't be at 101%. So you bank the makeup. What banking means is you store it. Just like in a bank, you store, your money in a bank and you use it for later. Let me show you. So now I'm going to click, now that I got through the makeup explanation, I'm going to click here on makeups. This is a list of all the club makeups. I don't think we have any because this is a testing club, but I'm just going to add a makeup and I'm going to, just so you can see the process, I'm just going to pick someone at random. Who is the member that deserves the makeup? Let's say it's Jerub. And then when was his date? Let's say it was yesterday. What Jerub did? He, I don't know, he went to a different Rotary club. Some clubs do that as makeups. And I'm going to bank it. You can, when you create a makeup, kind of what Bill was hinting at, you have all these options. You can apply it to a meeting, right? You can auto assign or you can bank it. When you apply to a meeting, notice when I click, it doesn't have a lot of meetings. It only shows the meetings that Jerub had an absence for. You don't need to apply a makeup if he's attended the meeting. So this list is not exhaustive. It's just, hey, Jerub missed one meeting on July 21st. It doesn't matter if the meeting's closed, you can still apply the makeup. So that's one way to do it. but let's just pretend Jared has 100% attendance. There's no, if I do auto assign, what happens is the system goes back in time. Go back 1 meeting, 2 meetings, 3 meetings, 4. Let's just keep going. Oh, look, Jared missed like 6 meetings ago. He missed it. Let's just assign the makeup there. And that's the way the auto assign algorithm works. Once again, we're pretending that Jared has 100% attendance. So I'm going to bank this thing and I'm going to save it. Okay. So now Jared, my 100% attendance person, has this nice makeup that he has no need for right now. But next week or week after or whatever, he misses a meeting for whatever reason. Now I'm going to click here. I can click here on meetings, or I can click here on meetings, the same button. And these are all old meetings. I'm sorry. Let's go. Let's create a new meeting for let's say, oh, this is 2020. Let's go here. Let's go April. Let's go May. So May, I don't know, May 1st. It doesn't matter. Just you pick a date, whenever you're meeting. Okay. So now we're in this situation where we have Jared was at 100% attendance, but when I do my May 1st attendance, which is next week, Jared, he missed the meeting. So what you can do is this. I'm going to click here on May 1st. And then, I'd manually go through and I check my members. By the way, here's a little shortcut, right? If you check this, you can check all the boxes and then just uncheck the people who didn't show up. Usually it's faster than having to click the checkbox a billion times, right? So, especially for large clubs, they have 30, 40 members. Okay. So Jared missed the meeting. Okay. In fact, let's just really highlight this. So everybody came except Jared. Why didn't he come? So everybody came except for Jared. So my 100% person, he's not 100% anymore. So I'm just going to click save. Okay. And I'm not done though, because Jared needs a makeup. So what I can do is I can go and Bill, you'll see this in every meeting, right? When you're editing this May 1st meeting, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click here on the makeup section. And there is now a apply makeups. And not this first makeup. What this first section makeups, I can add more makeups to people. Maybe Jared gets another makeup, or maybe someone else does. I can keep adding makeups, but I've already done it. So what our system says, it checks, it says, hey, look at this. Jared, he qualifies for a makeup. Oh, I'm sorry. Why? Because I just put in a makeup for last week. So what I can do is I can apply the makeup for Jared right here. Okay. So I can add the makeup. Okay. And I can apply it to the meeting and it's done. Now, so Jared has now had the makeup applied. So first of all, did that make sense, Bill, what I just did? Maybe you already know how to do that.
Yes, that you've indicated, illustrated a part I was not familiar with, but I think the process is when you go in and enter your attendance, then you, on a regular basis, check to see who has available makeups and apply them as appropriate.
Yeah, you can do that. Okay. There's a grayed out feature. Okay, I'm probably because did I date this meeting? Oh, because I dated my thing in the future. Okay. That's okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna have to fiddle with there's something called auto assign makeups for all members here. I'm gonna unassign. Let's go back in time. Here, Jared's he qualifies again. So I just undid what I did. Let me show you this button that's grayed out. Now, okay, why is this grayed out? There's an auto assign function, meaning just go through the system. If someone qualifies for a makeup, grab it and auto apply it. Why can't I do that? Because the meeting's in the future. So I'm going to have to go back. Actually, here, I'm just going to go up to meetings. Okay. Let me change the date on this thing and I'll make it, I'll have to make it, I'll make it April 24th. I'll make it yesterday. So, oh, sorry, I didn't edit. Yeah, let's edit this thing. So what I'm doing is I'm just setting this up so that we can use that auto assign feature, because this meeting is still in the future. It has yet to happen. You can't do that automatic thing. So I'm going to go the day before. So I'm going to go to April 24th, 2024. And now I'm here in my meetings. Now, when I click makeups, let's fingers crossed. I hope I did that right. There should now be a nice orange button for Bill. And there it is. Let's just talk about this for a second. I'm going to leave that on the screen. What this does is it says who's got bank makeups, first of all. Secondly, do they qualify? Do they can actually apply? Like, do they have a makeup from like 3 years ago? Because no, that doesn't apply, right? They have a makeup, but it's expired. And the third thing, okay, let's apply it. So if you don't want to do it manually, right? Like you can click this orange button, Bill or anybody else, and you just let the system do the work for you. I'm going to click this button now that this meeting is in the past, right? Because it's now the day before. I'm going to click it. It's just going to find everything for me because it's not just going to do Jarab. If there are other people, it will just add the makeups automatically. Does that make sense, Bill?
Yes, that's very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have any questions? And where did I know Louise does. Does anybody else have questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Nikki, I missed the basic overview of ClubRunner. You may have covered this then, but every time I get on to ClubRunner now, I get a message that says attention needed. These blocked emails require your attention, and I don't know how to deal with them.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's a great question. I'm going to click on admin, and I hope we have that message too. I'm going to click admin here, and then admin in the gray bar. So that's the admin screen. Fantastic. Okay, so what does this say? Oh, geez, I got to keep doing it. Stop doing that. Attention needed. I'll make this bigger because it's a little hard to read. Attention, there's blocked emails. As a result, participants aren't receiving emails. Review the email list here. Okay. First of all, what's happening here? What's a blocked email? What does that mean? When you or any person sends email out of ClubRunner, it's not like your personal email where you usually send to like 1 people, maybe like 10 people tops. Districts can send to 2,000 members. So it's a different it's the same system. It's still email, but the numbers game is different. When you send an email, sometimes people get blocked or, I'm sorry, what I mean to say is sometimes the ClubRunner email gets blocked, usually because the recipient, the person on the other end, their email system, whether it be Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo or AOL, whatever they got, let's say their Gmail, thinks that a ClubRunner email coming in is spam and it blocks the email. It says, oh, I'm going to mark this as spam. It's not coming in the inbox. It's nobody's fault. It's not the person sending it. It's not their fault, not the recipient, because the recipient doesn't even know that their Gmail or Hotmail has blocked ClubRunner email as spam. So let's review the blocked email. Is this orange message? I think we petitioned this for like a year. I'm really happy this is here. Why? I know it's sometimes be a little confusing, but now this is harder to ignore, this yellow box. I'm going to click here. Let's review the blocked email. I'll make this a bit smaller. Okay, this is a list not of people that ClubRunner has blocked, but that of people whose emails systems have blocked ClubRunner for whatever reason, marked it as spam, too many recipients, whatever. Oh, and by the way, sometimes the person, their email address is spelled wrong. So, it's like gmall.com, not Gmail, but gmail.com. I've actually seen that. So that's what it means when someone lands on the blocked email list. It's not ClubRunner blocking them, it's them or their email service blocking ClubRunner. So let's just take a look. There's all these reasons, and sometimes we get a little happy and give you like, IP addresses and error codes, which is not really for human, it's more for all of us software nerds. So sorry about that. But this error message really helps us out because we can actually look up these IP addresses, but regular human beings like 167, what? Like, what does that mean? So sometimes the reasons are great and simple, and sometimes they're written just for us. The nutshell, the short and long of this is most of these people, they blocked ClubRunner. You tried to send them an email for whatever it is, and for whatever reason, they blocked ClubRunner. And if I scroll down, I've got 5 people here who are blocked, and all for various reasons. So here's the actions to take. Okay, I can check one person, or I can just check all, and I can unblock the selected. Let me just talk through this process. What are you doing when you unblock someone? Here's what you're not doing. you're not sending them the old emails that they missed. Let's say they've been on this block list for a couple of months. It happens, right? Sometimes people don't know that they're being that their Gmail or Hotmail is blocking ClubRunner. So they don't get the old emails. What you're doing is when you click this box unblock selected, you're clearing the path to send them the next email. Why do we have this system? Why can't we just automatically unblock people? Because when someone blocks ClubRunner, but we keep on emailing them, the Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo system says, "Oh, this ClubRunner, I know this. This is not just a spammer. This is an aggressive spammer." And we land on what's called a blacklist, and we're like a permanent spammer all of a sudden. That's why we set up this whole system to inform the website admins, "Hey, these people are being blocked. Please at least review, take some action, take a pause, figure out what's going on." Here's what happens. I'm going to click unblock selected, like Jane Doe, right? Let's just talk about her, right? She's actually on this list twice. She's actually got 2 different emails, right? And that happens. I'm going to unblock. Let's pretend that I clicked unblock and I unblocked Jane Doe. And then next week, Jane Doe is back on this list. What's going on? The Jane Doe's, let's say she's got Gmail, right? Let's say her Gmail is kind of convinced that ClubRunner is spam. What can Jane do? Because the problem is there's not much you as the club or the website person and website admin can do. When you send someone an email, it's a handshake, right? Here's my message. Take this email server thing. Oh, and the email server says, "Thank you. Okay, I'll take it." The blocking basically means, here's my next message, Gmail, and Gmail says, "Nah, I don't want it. It's spam. I don't want to put the, or I'll store it in the spam folder." So to prevent that, it's not you, the website admin, who needs to do something. And this is the unfortunate part. Jane has to go into her spam folder and fish out that little ClubRunner message and say, I think Gmail and Yahoo, all of them have the same kind of term, which is, "This message is not spam." She has to unmark one of the messages and kind of train her Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, whatever, and say, "Please tell your email system that these ClubRunner messages that we're trying to send you, they're not spam." You have to do it once, but sometimes it's hard for people to check their spam folder and do such and such. You want to, and some people don't understand. Why are you giving me instruction? Aren't you trying to email me? Why do I have to do stuff? I've got this on phone calls, and you know what happens? So the way we try to explain it is, it's not Jane's fault. It's not her fault at all that Gmail is blocking ClubRunner, but she's got to go into Gmail and train her email system, pretend it's a dog, and say, "Hey, Gmail, ClubRunner email is not spam." So sometimes it's a 2-step process. First step process, unblock selected, right? I'm going to do that. It says, "You're going to unblock everybody?" Yes. And zap all the people who have been blocked. Okay, so that's phase 1. Great. Now I can send everybody emails. And then I send the next, let's say I send an email tomorrow and Jane Doe lands right back on this list. And then I unblock her. And then the day after, back on the list. So you get the idea, right? There's people who land back on here chronically. Those people, they have to take action on their email service, on Gmail, Hotmail, whatever. And they have to find one of the ClubRunner messages that was blocked as spam, right click and say, "Mark as not spam," or put back into my inbox. You have to tell that email system, "This ClubRunner thing, it's not spam. Put it back in my inbox." And what that usually does, it says, "Oh, this is not spam. The next ClubRunner email, don't worry, I'll put it in your inbox." That's what we want Gmail to say.
Great, thank you.
How does Jane?
I was worried that if I unblocked them, I was going to do something to them or to our system. So that's fine, because some of these go back to 2019.
Yes, yeah, it happens.
But how does Jane know that she has to go in and do that? You
have to
can't send her an
tell her.
email and tell her.
You have to call her, or you have to use, and I hate saying this, you have to use a email system that's not ClubRunner, like use your Outlook or something like that. I hate saying that because it's like, we have an email system, but Jane is my extreme case. Fingers crossed, you unblock a bunch of people, you just send them an email the next day, they get the emails. You don't have to worry about that advanced step. But sometimes You unblock someone, they land back on. Unblock, land back on. And if that keeps happening, then they will have to do something on their end. Their email system, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, is now convinced the ClubRunner is spam, and it just keeps diverting the Rotary messages into their spam folder. So hopefully you'll never have to tell Jane or anybody else a thing, because you unblock them, done, and you never have to worry about it. Unfortunately, the nature of email, and I guess more specifically, the nature of email security, a lot of people, they don't even know that their security and spam filters are cranked to 11, and they just, sometimes these things, and people send emails, they don't, there's keywords in the subject, keywords in your text, the word offer, the word invoice, the word buy, all these little words sometimes can seem innocuous. It can trigger a spam filter. And like I said, we hate that, but that's how modern security is. So hopefully you'll never have to tell Jane a thing. You unblock her and send her the next email. She gets it done. But if she keeps landing back on the screen, you have to get a hold of Jane. Sorry about that, Bill.
Susan, do you have
a quick question? Yes, just in relationship to this, if it's a name and you do not recognize who that person is, can you just delete them somehow?
You can unblock them. It's not really a delete, it's more of an unblock. If you're not sure, the best thing is email your club execs, because hey, I don't recognize this person. It might be like a contact, it might not even be a member, right? So talk to your club. And here, let's do a fail-safe. Here's my fail-safe. Whenever you're not sure about anything at all, support at clubrunner.ca, email us. We'll do some digging, we'll do some sleuthing. We have the unbelievable advantage of using ClubRunner daily. Very, very few people have that, work like that. So yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff. So we'll help you kind of figure stuff out. If you have a gigantic block list, you don't know what to do. If you have 5 people on a block list, you don't know what to do. In fact, if you don't know what to do, just email us. We'll talk it out. So yeah, please email us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, if you go into the actions, which you didn't do, there's a little drop down, and if you say edit the email, it'll bring you back to the profile, and you can see if it's a member or a friend of Rotary or whatever the profile looks like. And then you can go in there and change the email address. But I will say that some of the emails, like we have a university professor, there is no way he can fix his university email address. So he constantly is on my list, and I constantly remove him. And unless he gives me a new email address or I remove his email from our list totally, that's the only way to fix it with some of these really heavy, like universities, colleges, like big tech companies that have huge, huge issues with that. So
I have a solution to university professor. There's 2 options. And I'm going to talk about option 2, which is, I don't know if it's the easier one. The university prof uses, Gmail or something. That's option 2. Option 1, if he knows how to talk to his IT staff, and we've actually talked to university professors, lawyers, sheriffs, people who work at banks, super high security stuff. It's not them directly because, they're part of a giant corporation. They talk to their IT staff. The magic words are whitelist service at clubrunner.ca or mail service at clubrunner.ca. I know that doesn't make sense to humans, but to the IT staff is like, oh, you want to whitelist your mail server? Okay. Would you like us to talk to your university prof? Because like I said, Louise and Bill, and we kind of hate that you have to talk to the individual Rotarian, but it's the nature of email these days, right? The security settings, when they get cranked to 11, we can't break through their door because we're violating security. They have to kind of massage their settings. So Louise, you can ask the university prof, listen, talk to your IT staff, get the ClubRunner mail servers whitelisted. If he's like, is that English? What did you just say right there? So please ask him to contact us, him or her. Because we will at least give him the ammunition that he or she needs, so that he can say, just take this message, copy paste, throw it to his IT staff. His IT staff will speaks the same language as us. I hope that makes sense, Louise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mickey, do you want to leave it at that? If anybody does have any additional questions, you've got the support at ClubRunner, email, and definitely they're great. If you give them a call, they can answer any of the questions that you have. Unless somebody has like a really quick one, we'll call it a day.
Thank you, Mary.
All right.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Mickey.
Yeah, so it's been recorded. We will get it onto the website probably in the next couple of days, and I'll include that PDF document that has all the links again there as well. So you can let anybody know in your clubs that if they need to learn how to do some of the stuff that we learned tonight, that they can watch the advanced version. And some of you might even want to go back and watch the beginner one as well. Thank you so much, Mickey. Really, I'm so happy that you reached out to us to say that you were offering to do this for us. I know I learned a ton, and it was really great. So thank you very much.
Have a wonderful evening, and yeah, take care.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank
Night,
you.
everybody.
Good night.